Hello students, in this section we are going to see about embedded system development environment. First we'll see the block diagram of embedded system development environment. It contains various devices. It contains development PC, which is acting as the heart of the development environment. Then it is having integrated development environment tool for firmware development and debugging. Then it contains EDA, electronic design automation tool for hardware development. Then it has hardware emulator for debugging the target board. Then we have function generator. It is a signal source function generator to generate the input signals which is required for the target board. Then there are some hardware debugging tools like multimeter, logic analyzer and all. These are used for debugging the hardware devices which is present at the target board. Next, disassembler and decoupler. We know what is assembler and decoupler. Assembler is used to convert the assembly language to machine code, and decoupler is used to convert the high-level language to machine code. This disassembler and decompiler are doing the reverse operation. Disassembler, it is a utility program which converts machine code into the particular processor or converter assembly code. Next, decompiler. Decompiler, it converts the machine code into a corresponding high-level language. The process of converting machine code into assembly code is called disassembling. Next is simulator, emulator, and debugging. Simulator and the emulator are the important two tools in the embedded system development environment. Simulator is a software tool which is used for debugging the firmware. It checks all the conditions and different functionalities of the application program. Next, emulator. Emulator is a hardware device which emulates the functionalities of target device, and it allows the real-time debugging of embedded firmware in a hardware environment. This integrated development environment, it is supports for simulator too. Next, there are some advantages and disadvantages with the simulator. The advantages are no need for original target board because the simulator is purely based on software one, so it does not require any hardware. So we can go for the software development early once the memory mapping is done. So here the development it reduces the development time. Next is simulate I/O peripherals. This simulator supports for simulating I/O peripherals. So by using this, we can change the value of registers, and we can observe the operation of those registers. Then it simulates abnormal condition. The simulation supports for checking the abnormal condition, means where we can apply any variable for any parameter during the software debugging, and we can observe the control flow. It helps the programmer to check the abnormal conditions under various criteria. Next, limitations, deviation from real behavior. Here, the programmer will not be able to check all the combinations of input for the firmware, and in certain conditions, they may get one output, and that will differ from the output when the firmware is running in real time. Next, lack of real time is it is a major limitation of simulator based debugging. It is not real time in behavior. Next, type of debugging. There are different types of debugging. First one, incremental EEPROM burning technique. This is the most primitive type of debugging. Here the code will be divided into different functional code. Instead of burning the entire code into the EEPROM, we will burn incremental wise. Each separate unit will be separately tested and cross compiled, everything. Here we are not debugging, actually here we are not debugging, but after the burning we will check the execution of the firmware, that is considered as debugging. Next, inline breakpoint based firmware debugging. Within the firmware where we want to check the uh, firmware execution, there we can break the code and we can insert inline debug code immediately. So this is nothing but breaking the flow of execution and debugging it. The debug code is a printf function. Next, monitor program based firmware debugging. In this approach, we will develop a monitor program which will act as supervisor. Supervisor. The monitor program controls the downloading the user code into the code memory and inspects and monitors the registers and memories, and it allows a single stepping source also. The monitor program implements the debug function also, and but it is a predefined command set from the debug application interface. This monitor program always listens to the serial interface of target board. The target board will be sending the commands to the monitor program. Based on the command, it performs the operations like memory the code downloading and memory monitoring modification, register monitoring modification, and single stepping everything. The monitor program consists of a few features. It has the command set interface to establish communication with the debugging application, firmware download option to code memory, examine and modify the processor registers and working memory, single step programming execution. Single step programming execution is nothing but after the each program execution there will be debugging. Then set breakpoints only. It where we want to check the program software, where we want to ensure the software execution, there we can stop the program and we can insert the breakpoint execute. Then it send the debug information to the debug application running on the host machine. Then in-circuit emulator based firmware debugging. In this we have ICE emulator part. Emulator part will be having emulator device, emulator memory and adapter. Emulator devices will be same like target processor or any memory chip. It will be connected it will be connected with the target board through device adapter, and it is connected with the debugger application, means the PC with the RS-232 or USB cable. So the emulation device will be connected with the target board processor, and through this debugging is happening here. Next, on-chip firmware debugging. This nowadays in all the processor or controller are having built-in debug modules. So this is called on-chip debug. So it is doesn't require any external debugging technique. Next, we'll see hardware debugging. Hardware debugging. See, though the firmware is bug free, sometimes we may face problem with the hardware device, the software devices, sorry, hardware devices. So that the problem may be with a target board hardware components. There may be any connection and misplacement of the components, and any due to noise some problem might have occurred. All these should be debugged. So there are to debug the hardware there are some tools. Magnifying glass, it is a powerful visual inspection tool. By using this the target board can be thoroughly checked. Next, multimeter is used for measuring various electrical signals like current, both the DC and AC current, voltage, both the DC and AC, resistance, capacitance. We can check the continuity also. Transistors checking, cathode and anode of diode checking, everything we can do. Next, digital CRO. Digital CRO, it is used for waveform capturing and analyzing the wave for measurement purpose. Next, is logic analyzer. Logic analyzer is used for capturing the digital data from the target board. In the target board there will be so many digital circuitry. From that we can get the digital data and we can analyze it. Function generator is used to, it is not a debugging tool, it is a input signal generator. It can generate various periodic waveforms like sine wave, square wave and sawtooth wave, mm, with the different frequencies and amplitudes. Last one, boundary scan. Boundary scan is a technique used for testing the interconnection among the various chips which support uh, which support JTAG interface present in the target board. So, thank you.